Hi guys, it's Matthew here. Welcome back to another video on my channel today. And in today's video, guys, right after I got done doing my top 10 favorite Marvel MCU movies, as a matter of fact, I thought it might be a good idea and a good idea to rank like all of the Marvel MCU movies that we have gotten that have made $1 billion, as a matter of fact. So yeah, that is what I'm going to be doing here today in this video. I am going to be ranking all 11 Marvel MCU movies that have cracked $1 billion, as a matter of fact. And if you want to share your ranking of these movies down below in the comments section, please do that, as a matter of fact. But those of you guys that are new to the channel, I do more than just movies and physical media related content. I also do Lego related stuff, and I play video games. I do all sorts of stuff like that and more. So if you guys like to watch anything like that on YouTube, be sure to click like on this video, as well as that red subscribe button, and most importantly, make sure you press the notification bell so you don't miss anything in the future. But with all that out of the way, guys, and with all that being said, enjoy the video. Let's get started, as a matter of fact. Alright, so to be honest, all of the MCU movies that we have gotten that have cracked $1 billion, I don't think there's been a single like bad movie or like a flat out like horrible movie or anything like that. So yeah, actually most of the MCU movies I actually think are pretty good. So a lot of them I don't think are bad at all. So, and none of these I think are bad, just FYI, guys. So start at the bottom of the list at number 11. I'm gonna go with the Captain Marvel, as a matter of fact. This movie is way overhated. Is this the worst I will agree, this is my least favorite Marvel movie that has cracked $1 billion. But this is not a bad movie by any means. I like how we got introduced to like a new superhero, and towards like the end of the Infinity Saga, and then they brought her back, and then they brought her back in Avengers Endgame, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I liked Captain Marvel, and this was a very entertaining movie, but it's not like the greatest Marvel movie ever made. Absolutely not. But the biggest gripe that I have with this movie is that the biggest flaw, I will say, is that this movie actually takes place before the first Avengers in the MCU timeline. So it should have came out when it should have came out when they did phase 1, not in phase 3, because I feel like if that were to happen, this movie would have gotten so much hate, because I don't understand why this movie is overhated, but I think the biggest reason why is because it's a movie that takes place during the events of like Captain America and the first two Iron Mans and the Incredible Hulk and the first Thor, which all those movies take place in the MCU timeline before the first Avengers. And since it takes place in that area, that means if you watch like all these movies on chronological order, in the order that you're supposed to watch them in, that means she doesn't come back until Avengers Endgame, which is a really long time, as a matter of fact. So yeah, this is not a bad movie by any means, but it's got a couple of problems, though. I will admit that, but it's not like a bad movie by any means, like at all. At number 10, I'm going with Iron Man 3. So now, out of every MCU movie on this list, this is the one I actually remember the least about, because um I don't know why, but that means it's kind of that means if I don't really remember it, this movie is kind of like a meh movie, or something like that. But yeah, this is like a mid-tier movie, I will say. But again, I can't really give you like a full-fledged out opinion because I didn't rewatch any of these movies before doing this video. But so I don't remember. I vaguely remember this movie, but yeah, if I don't remember much about it, that means it's probably a mid-tier movie and probably one of the weaker movies in the MCU though. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have much else to say about Iron Man 3. Up next at number 9, this is kind of a hard decision. But I'm gonna go with Spider-Man Far From Home. So now, I do think that this movie is better than Spider-Man Homecoming, as a matter of fact. But it's still not like but it's not like one of the best movies in the MCU, because he is not in New York City. He goes on a trip. He goes on a trip from home. As a matter of fact, I would say the best part about this movie is Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. I like his performance in this movie, and I like this movie as a whole in general, because I like how it's like different compared to like the other Spider-Man movies, and I liked how they told a little bit of a story on what took place during during Infinity War and Endgame as well. But yeah, this movie is pretty fun and I enjoy it for like the most part. But it's a little flawed in some ways, as a matter of fact. So this is one I would put higher up on the list, but I can't, unfortunately, as a matter of fact. Up next, I think we're on number 8 now, and at number 8, I think I'm gonna have to give it to the very first Avengers, and not the first Avengers, Avengers Age of Ultron. So now, it shouldn't be any surprise that this is that people have this as like the worst Avengers movie. I mean, I don't think any of the Avengers movies are bad necessarily, but Age of Ultron is the weakest out of all of them, as a matter of fact. I mean, I like the big battle. I like the big fight that they have that Hulk and Iron Man have against each other when Iron Man's in like his Hulk Buster and stuff like that. I really enjoyed. I really like that part. As a matter of fact, hold on a sec, guys. All right, guys. I'm back, and I was having some issue keeping track of my list, so I went ahead and wrote it down, as a matter of fact. So we were on number 8, as a matter of fact. So at number 8, I have Avengers Age of Ultron, as a matter of fact. So now, as I was saying, none of the Avengers movies are bad. But in my personal opinion, this is the weakest out of the Avengers movies. And that's because I think like Ultron is not like the most memorable villain. Like like at all. I mean, he's a good villain, but he's not like a super memorable villain for the MCU. And I really like the storyline because in this particular movie, this is where we get to see the Avengers Tower all built up and whatnot. So I give it credit for that, and it also gets another boost because I really like the fight that Hulk and Iron Man has. Hulk and Iron Man have together with that fight scene where Iron Man's on the Hulk Buster and whatnot. Yeah, this is a really fun movie, but it just has a couple of problems that prevents it from going higher up on the list. But yes, in my personal opinion, this is the weakest of the Avengers movies. Up next at number 7, I have Spider-Man: No Way Home. As a matter of fact, so now with this movie in particular, I imagine if you guys are just ranking the Avengers movies that have made $1 billion, this one would probably be higher up on your guys' list. But I enjoy this movie too. But this, and I think this movie is great. But it's not like. But I just didn't have like the big like attachment to it like most of you guys did. But I still think it's a great movie. I was just not attached to it like you guys were, as a matter of fact. But yeah, it's a good movie, but what I really don't like about this movie is that he had to erase his identity from the world so everybody would forget who he was. So that cost him his relationship with Ned and MJ, which was really sad. I kind of wish he didn't have to do that, but I'm actually hoping something will come up in Spider-Man Brand New Day, I think is what the next Spider-Man movie is going to be called. But yeah, knife to the heart to put it this low on the list, but like I said, I enjoy it, but that ending is just so heart-filling, and I'm just dying to see where Spider-Man's story is going to go next, and I hope he gets back with MJ at some point, as a matter of fact. But yeah, this is a great movie, but it's just not one that I love nearly like you guys do. Next up at number 6, I have to give it to the first Avengers, as a matter of fact. So yes, the first time that we see these characters together, absolutely phenomenal. I enjoyed this movie, but yeah, this would actually be the best Avengers movie. This would actually be the best movie in the MCU if we were in the time frame where Phase 1 came out. But we're not, because there is a couple of movies there's a couple more movies on this list. There's 5 movies I have above this movie that I think are better, and all these movies came out after the very first Avengers did, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie for what it delivered, as a matter of fact. So yeah, the first Avengers outing was really, really good, as a matter of fact. Up next at number 5, I'm going to go with Deadpool and Wolverine. So now, I've said this when I did my top 10 best MCU movies, as a matter of fact. It was in my top 10 best MCU movies, and this was a fantastic movie. Like, this movie is rated R, and Disney owns the rights to Marvel Studios. And I thought No, they're never gonna make an R-rated movie for Star Wars or for Marvel at all. I thought it was going to be impossible for them to do an R-rated movie because I thought even if they could afford to make an R-rated movie, they wouldn't do it anyway because then it would be a bad image for them. But then they did it perfectly because this movie made $1 billion. A lot of Marvel fans enjoyed this movie. It was so good. As a matter of fact, I'm hoping Deadpool and Wolverine will return in Avengers Doomsday. As a matter of fact, but yeah, I really enjoyed this movie for what it delivered, and I was laughing from beginning to end. I like the inclusion of Dogpool as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. It was fun, it was entertaining, it was really good. This one was in my top 10 list, as a matter of fact. So yes, I am. So yes, I had to put this. I had to put this in the top 5 at the very least. Up next at number 4. So now, I do want to tell you guys something before I get into the top 4. The top 4 movies on this list are actually the top 4 movies that I have are actually in my top 5 favorite MCU movies. So if you don't hear me say like a lot of different things about them, that is why, because all 4 of these movies are in my top 5 favorite MCU movies, and I love all 4 of these both equally. So with that said, at number 4, I have Black Panther. Perfect performance by Chadwick Boseman, and I'm sad that he couldn't continue playing this character because he died, and because he was so good as this character, but then he sadly passed away, and he couldn't portray this character. But yeah, what I really like about this movie is the action that's put into it. And I also really do like the car chase in this movie as well. I think the car chase is really well thought out. That kind of reminded me of like Fast and the Furious a little bit, as a matter of fact. But yeah, it comes in at number 4 on my list. Coming in at number 3 now is going to be Captain America: Civil War, as a matter of fact. So now, this is probably not a big shocker that this movie is like in the top 5 at least. I know a lot of people have this in their top 5 somewhere, and personally, it's my favorite out of the Captain America movies because I think that this Captain America. I'm a big Captain America fan. As in case you guys don't know, I'm a big Captain America fan, and this is my favorite out of the Captain America movies because I think it has the best story. The action in this movie is very well oriented, and yeah, I really do like the whole story and all of the dialogue that's put into this movie. And what I think the best part about this movie is when they fight each other at the airport. I think that is the best part of this movie. And also, another thing about this movie, this is actually the very first movie in the MCU that we get introduced to Spider-Man, as a matter of fact. But then after that, we get Spider-Man Homecoming, as a matter of fact. So yeah, this is a good movie nonetheless, and like I said, it's definitely in my top 5, as a matter of fact. But for me, easily coming in at number 2 and at number 1 is going to be Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Do we even have to list off why these movies are the top $2 billion MCU movies on this list? Do we even have to list off why? Avengers Infinity War brought everybody on screen for the very first time. And it was just a fun time seeing all these characters on screen together. But then Thanos wins, and they brought everybody back in Avengers Endgame so perfectly. That final battle was epic and so well done. And it wraps up the Infinity Saga perfectly, and the Multiverse Saga starts up, as a matter of fact. So yes, I don't even have to say much. The top 2 movies on this list are Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, as a matter of fact. So do not be shocked that these movies were going to be number 1 and number 2 on this list, as a matter of fact. So there you have it, guys. There is my ranking of all 11 Marvel movies that have made $1 billion, as a matter of fact. So let me know your ranking of all these down below in the comment section, as a matter of fact. It's okay that we're going to disagree with our list, because that's the fun part, as a matter of fact. But with all that out of the way, guys, be sure you hit that like button as well as that red subscribe button. But most importantly, make sure you press that notification bell so you don't miss anything in the future. But without any further ado, guys, I'm going to go bring you back to more videos, because more videos are on the way sooner rather than later, as a matter of fact, guys. But with that all being said, guys, take care, drink water, and stay safe, and I will see you all in the very next video. Bye!